Okay, picture this. It's midnight. You are absolutely, completely exhausted. You've been tired literally all day long, just kind of dragging yourself through your tasks. You finally lie down, pull up the covers, close your eyes, and then nothing. Your brain suddenly decides it's the perfect time to remember something incredibly embarrassing you did 5 years ago. Your thoughts are racing, your eyes pop open, and you find yourself just staring at the ceiling. It is one of the most common, deeply frustrating experiences in the modern world, and yet almost nobody actually understands what's happening behind the scenes.
Look, if you've been there, I need you to know right now, this midnight ceiling stare, it is not a personal failure. It's not a lack of willpower, and it's definitely not just about having a stressful day at work. What you're experiencing is your biology being systematically hijacked. You are literally fighting against blue light, stress hormones, and devices that are engineered from the ground up to keep your nervous system in a state of high alert. So today, in this explainer, we're going to look at the hard science of exactly why you can't sleep.
Okay, let's dive into this. To understand why we can't sleep, we first have to shatter a massive myth about what sleep actually is. Most of us just think of sleep as rest, a time when your body lies still while the clock ticks. But Dr. Matthew Walker, a professor of neuroscience at UC Berkeley, calls this the single greatest misunderstanding in human health. He points out that sleep is actually the most intensely neurologically active period of your entire day. It's not a shutdown at all. It's a massive biological reboot.
So to get your sleep back, here is our roadmap for this explainer. We'll cover the myth of rest, your broken internal clock, the cortisol trap, the global sleep epidemic, and finally, we'll give you a concrete 6-step sleep protocol. Section 1. The myth of rest. So far from being a passive state, your brain actually goes to work the very second you fall asleep. It consolidates all your memories from the day. It literally, physically flushes out toxic proteins, specifically amyloid plaques that are linked to Alzheimer's disease. It's repairing damaged cells, regulating your hormones, and completely resetting your emotional system so you can actually handle tomorrow. The absolutely crucial point here is that without sleep, none of these critical processes finish. If you cut your sleep short, unseen biological damage is literally accumulating in your brain and body every single night. And the compounding effect of this is honestly staggering. Dr. Walker's research revealed that if you sleep less than 6 hours a night for just 2 weeks, you become as cognitively impaired as someone who has been awake for 24 hours straight. But here's the truly terrifying part. When you look in the mirror, you don't even realize you're impaired. Because your brain is sleep-deprived, it completely loses the ability to accurately judge its own impairment. You're walking around operating like you've been up for a full day and night, but you don't even know how damaged your processing power is.
Section 2. Your broken internal clock.
So every single cell in your body operates on a clock, right? And all of these cellular clocks are synchronized by one master clock in your brain. It's this tiny cluster of cells called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. We call this your circadian rhythm. Dr. Sachin Panda from the Salk Institute explains that for hundreds of thousands of years, this master clock was perfectly calibrated by one major environmental trigger, and that was natural light. When the sun came up, you woke up. When the sun went down, your body prepared for rest. Simple. This internal clock basically creates this delicate chemical balancing act in your body between two primary hormones. When morning light hits your eyes, your brain suppresses melatonin, which is the sleep hormone, and it releases cortisol, the wake hormone, making you feel alert. As darkness falls, the exact opposite happens. Melatonin rises, cortisol drops. It's a beautiful, balanced system that took millions of years of human evolution to build. And in the span of just about 50 years, we completely broke it with electric light and artificial screens. The problem is, our technology is essentially weaponized against this balance. Screens emit blue light, which is a wavelength your brain's clock is maximally sensitive to. In a landmark 2014 study, Harvard's Dr. Charles Cheesler proved that just 2 hours of screen exposure before bed suppresses your melatonin by a massive 23%. It also delays your sleep cycle by up to 3 whole hours. So when you're staring at the ceiling at midnight, you aren't necessarily lacking fatigue. Your brain literally thinks it is 9 p.m. because of the light hitting your eyes from your phone.
Section 3. The cortisol trap.
So blue light is really only half the battle. Meet the cortisol trap. Dr. Rajita Sinha, the director of the Yale Stress Center, has spent decades studying exactly how stress disrupts our rest. She explains that cortisol and sleep share an inverse relationship. When cortisol, that wakeful stress hormone, is high, sleep becomes biologically impossible. Your body literally thinks it's under threat. And when your sleep is poor, your cortisol levels rise even higher the very next day. It creates this devastating vicious cycle. Now, what's really interesting about this is how our technology feeds directly into this trap. Dr. Sahana's research showed that people who checked their phones within 30 minutes of bedtime had 27% higher cortisol levels than those who didn't. Just think about it. Social media, news apps, work emails, they are all perfectly designed to trigger emotional responses. Outrage, envy, excitement. Every late-night notification or doom scroll is a direct spike to your wake hormone, pushing your sleep further and further away.
Section 4. The global sleep epidemic.
When you combine suppressed melatonin and spiked cortisol, you get a societal disaster. The historical data here is genuinely startling. Back in 1942, the average person was getting about 7.9 hours of sleep per night. Today, that number has plummeted to just 6.5 hours. As a society, we have collectively wiped out over an hour of sleep per night in less than 80 years. We are literally starving our biology of the exact mechanism it uses to heal itself.
And the consequences are so severe that the World Health Organization now officially considers sleep deprivation a global public health epidemic. We are, quite literally, the only species on Earth that deliberately deprives itself of sleep. No other animal does this, and we are absolutely paying for it with our health, our minds, and our lifespans.
The fallout of consistently getting less than 7 hours of sleep is staggering. Chronic sleep deprivation increases your risk of diabetes by 36%, your risk of obesity by 55%, and your risk of heart disease by an unbelievable 200%. Let that sink in for a second. A 200% increased risk of heart disease, simply because we won't put our phones down and close our eyes. Dr. Walker really wasn't exaggerating when he said no aspect of our biology is left unscathed.
Section 5. The 6-step sleep protocol.
I know those statistics are heavy, but the good news is this is entirely fixable. Here is your rapid-fire, highly practical 6-step protocol to take your health back tonight. Step 1. No screens 60 minutes before bed. This is absolutely the single highest impact change you can make to let your melatonin rise. Step 2. Keep a consistent schedule, even on weekends, to lock in that master clock. Step 3. Keep your room cold, around 65 degrees Fahrenheit, because your core temperature actually has to drop to initiate sleep. Step 4. Get morning light exposure, outside within 30 minutes of waking up to anchor your circadian rhythm. Step 5. Cut caffeine before 2 p.m. It has a massive half-life in your system. And step 6. The 20-minute rule. If you can't sleep after 20 minutes, get out of bed. Go read a physical book. Never, ever train your brain to associate your bed with being awake. I want to leave you with this final thought from Dr. Walker. He says, sleep is the single most effective thing you can do to reset your brain and body health each day. It's the literal foundation of everything you want to achieve, physically, mentally, and emotionally. And you know what the best part is? Unlike so many complex, expensive health interventions, this solution is completely free and it is waiting for you right now in your bedroom. So knowing what happens to your biology when you look at that screen, what's stopping you from putting down your phone and reclaiming your health tonight?